times like that happen, can we reframe it and say, I'm being presented now with an opportunity to practice. The very first act of correction is to go into your imagination and see it the way that you want to see it instead. Okay, you are constantly emitting a message to God, whether or not it's wanted or unwanted. You're still telling God something. You're always being heard. Why? Because God knows if he dwells in you, then he knows exactly what you're feeling and what you're thinking. You can't hide. And this is why sometimes affirmations don't work, because you're saying the words, but you're not truly connecting and feeling it. And God knows how you're feeling. You can't hide that. That's all that's required of us, to go into the state of who we want to be. And this is why the technique, the holy instant, helps too, right? In this exact moment, I can be who I want to be. And again, if you make peace your number one intention, if you make that the goal of everything in your life, then it's like, well, okay, hold on. My sister's calling me in a panic. Peace is my number one intention. So how can I, within myself, rework it, start seeing it through the eyes of God, so that I can get myself back to that state of peace. There was somebody too that posted in the group today, and they were talking about how guilty they felt. They suffered from a lot of guilt, and I can relate to that because I lived from guilt and shame so much of my life. I remember reading where Neville said the consciousness of guilt will only bring more condemnation. The consciousness of lack will bring you poverty. So, who am I being? What message am I sending right now to God about what I want to experience in this life? We have to constantly ask ourselves, am I being who I want to be in this moment? Do I want more of this? Quick question, right? But it does take a controlled imagination. We need to discipline ourselves. We have been so undisciplined, and the only person that can do it is you. And knowing that we're the operant power of our lives, that God gave us the free will to choose whatever state of consciousness we want to embody, are we actually taking advantage of that? So that's the work. Always constantly reminding yourself of who you are. I am a manifestation of God. God became man so that man can become God. God became man so that now God became me. So now I can go out into the world and live my life the way that I want to live it. And people say, no, you can't. I honestly thought that God was dealing me cards, and this is what I have to work with. This is my life. I had no idea that I could actually be a conscious creator and direct my life the way that I wanted it to be. No idea. And so when you have been living that way, because I started with Neville 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago, when I was 46, 47 at the time. So 47 years of being this version of me. And then, you know, I say that I am somebody different. Well, your logical mind is going to fight you. Your subconscious mind, it feels like it's going to wants to fight you. It's not fighting you. It's just protecting you, saying that it's something, right now you're doing something different. This isn't normal. It's a protection mechanism. So we don't have to fight it. Just understand what your body is trying to do. It's just trying to protect you. Actually, it's one of the most loving things that your body can do for you. It's trying to make sure that you survive. That's the way that we were built. I tend to not resist things anymore, because I used to say, why does it have to be this way? Why did God make it so difficult? But there's a reason why he made it the way that it is. And it's always to build character, build us up to who we want to be. thinking this way has brought me to a state of peace. Make peace. You just make peace your number one priority. Heaven is available to us. That's why I named it Heaven on Earth, because the I am state is available to you. The I am state is infinite possibilities. We just need to recognize when we're putting our focus and attention and an awareness or consciousness on things that we don't want instead of the things that we do. It's all available to you. Lack is available to you just as much as abundance is. Love is available to you just as much as hate is. Which one? Which one? You got choices, and God says, here, you choose. How do you want to live your life? Let's just become aware of that. I covered that. Identity over technique. You choose your identity. You choose to be the version of yourself that you want to be. Techniques are only there to help you get there. Who are you being? What version of you would you be if you naturally already had it? How would you show up? Right? What inner conversations are we entertaining? I want us to remember that we're not here to get. We're here to receive. We're here to become the version of ourselves that we want to be. And as a result of that, we get what we want. We are here to remember who we are. We are here to step into the power that has been given to us. Our inner conversations are so important. It's such a big part of this process. The way that I would practice is, who's talking right now? Is it my ego talking, or is it God talking? Because the ego is a bitch. My ego was a bitch. There was a book by David Hawkins, which was really good. It's called Power versus Force. So are you standing in your power, and a lot of us manipulate. We're trying to manipulate to get things. That's just standing in your power if you're manipulating. And a lot of people do this work and they're like, I'm going to think positive thoughts. I'm going to think this, right? But they're just doing it because they think that by doing that, they're going to get what they receive. God knows manipulation. God knows when you're just doing something, to try to get something. You're not actually becoming that person. You need to become that person. That's the whole point of this whole manifestation journey that we're on. It's not to get the stuff, but to become the person that you want to be. Miracles are normal. When you trust that you are who you say that you are, when you trust this knowing that God dwells within you and you act in alignment with that version of yourself, then miracles are normal because you're constantly attracting the things that you want. Like the other day, I had a doctor's appointment, and it was at the same time that something that my son, like I have to do for my son at the exact same time. So in my mind, I was saying, I have to call the doctor's appointment and reschedule it. But then I forgot about it. And I received a phone call from that doctor's office that said, sorry to bother you, Cheryl, but can we reschedule that appointment? And I'm like, this is normal. This is normal for me. The old version of me would say, what a coincidence. I had to reschedule that appointment anyways, and now this happened. It's not a coincidence. Things like this are normal. I remember too, it was in the spring, a couple years ago, and my eaves trough along the side of the house was pulling away. The nails had gotten loose and it was pulling away from the house. And I thought, I have to call somebody to repair that. And I had been procrastinating. And part of my inner conversation was, it should be my husband that does that. I was in a bitter state. I'm like, why do I have to do it? My husband should take care of stuff like this, right? So I reeled that in. And then I get a knock on the door one day, and there's a roofer guy, and he just said, I was driving by and I saw, did you know that your eaves trough is coming away from the house? I was just in the neighborhood and I saw that, I don't know, I don't normally do this, but I, just thought maybe I could, since I'm in the area, could fix that for you. I'm like, thank you, God, for making my life so easy. These are not just coincidences that come into your experience. They're now things that happen that are normal. And I take those situations and I say, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for hearing me. And I amplify that feeling of gratitude and love within me, saying, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for making my life easy. Thank you that I'm on the right track. And I amplify that feeling of gratitude within me. Why? Because this is our natural state of being, because this is the way that I want to feel, because I know that as I continue to embody this, more things in my experience will be called in, because who I'm being right now always will project into the future and meet me again, because this is what I'm saying that I want. It's just a feeling of being supported. That's it. I feel supported. Thank you for supporting me. And then God says, here, I'll support you even more. Just like in Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. I love that one. There's another scripture that talks about the storm, or chaos. And I'm like, am I in a state of chaos right now? Because that's a clear indication to me that I'm forgetting who I am. Because with God, it's just peace. So let's just make peace our number one priority. Notice that in your conversations. Are your inner conversations supporting you? The inner conversations of who you are now versus what you'd be saying to yourself when you are who you say you want to be are two totally different conversations. I remember that my conversations were always rooted in doubt. My inner conversations were rooted in fear. My inner conversations were rooted in anxiety. That's not how I talk to myself now. Two totally different conversations. So, what would you say to yourself? What would the future version of you say to yourself? You say that to yourself now. You don't wait until the future. You say those things to yourself now, and that's how you become that future version of yourself that much quicker. This is what quantum jumping is. You're literally becoming a different person. You're choosing to become a different person now. So I wanted so much to heal my marriage, heal myself as a parent, because as a parent, I always felt like I was failing, that I was never good enough, that I was worried about failing my children. And I noticed the things that I was saying to myself. They were not in alignment with who I wanted to be. When something in my reality would happen with my kids, and immediately I'd be like all stressed out or pissed off or, yelling. I was a yeller. I yelled a lot. I still yell sometimes. I have a lot of grace for myself now. That's just a normal human reaction. But the time now that it takes for me to bring myself back into alignment is much shorter. But I still give myself grace. I don't beat myself up and say you shouldn't have reacted that way. And I'm like, well, it's normal. As a human, it's normal to react that way. But now how can I see it? My son would come to me with something, and then immediately I'd start yelling, and I would be so short with him. And then you take that moment. I just took 60 seconds to just recenter myself. And I asked myself, am I being the understanding parent that I want to be? And I'm like, no, I immediately was yelling at my son and I'm lecturing my son. And what does that do? That's only going to make him feel like he can't come to me when he has a problem because he's just going to get condemned. So, who do I want to be? I want to be this understanding parent. I want to be this compassionate parent. I want to be loving. I want him to feel like he's understood. How can I now show up that way? And so I started doing that, and it has made my relationship with my kids so much stronger. And It makes me feel like I'm a better parent. But I have to be the better parent first before that can happen. I have to act in alignment with who I want to be. I can't just wish it. You got to be it.